I do like to ponder sometimes. And I was just pondering to myself about how South Africa's cabinet sounds less like a government and more like a weird game of who wants to be a minister. Yeah. Do you know that we've got over 70 ministers and deputy ministers? 70. Yeah. That is not a cabinet. That is more like a freaking furniture warehouse. You've got a minister of energy, a minister of electricity, a minister of mineral resources, and not one of them can keep the lights from going out. Then you've got your deputy minister of higher education, deputy minister of basic education. At this point, I'm just waiting for them to have a minister of stationery and a deputy minister of sharpeners. And don't get me started on those portfolios that all sound made up. Minister in the Presidency, responsible for performance, monitoring and evaluation. Minister in the Presidency for planning, monitoring and evaluation. Minister in the Presidency for women, youth and people with disabilities. I'm convinced that Minister in the Presidency is just a title that they hand out when they've run out of real departments. Now look, don't get me wrong. I do understand that coalitions are complicated. You've got to keep everyone happy, right? But this is starting to look less like a cabinet reshuffle and more like an ANC loyalty program. Yeah? Collect 10 deployment points and get your own ministry. Meanwhile, ordinary people like you and me are just trying to survive rising petrol costs, rising food prices, rising electricity costs, and just general living expenses. And here we are, paying for salaries, cars and perks for a bunch of people that could fill a stadium. And I bet they can't even agree on who's going to be making the tea. If we're going to have this many ministers, can we at least get some value? Minister of potholes, who actually fills them. Minister of queues, who speeds them up. Minister of holding other ministers accountable. Now that would be revolutionary. But look, if you've got any thoughts on the matter, please do feel free to pop something in the comments and let me know, because I would love to know what you think. But personally, I think we could cut the whole list in half and still have room for a minister of common sense. Yeah?